The second person, because it's a short list. It's not a big list. And this one, it makes all the sense in the world, because when they announced that they, basically don't have a coach at Florida anymore, and I got to give props to my man Tyler Butler with his podcast called Enough with the BS. He said, "Give me Chip Kelly." Chip Kelly. And when I saw that, I said, I had to think about that, and I said, I see where Tyler is going with this. Chip Kelly did a really good job recruiting players to go to Oregon. In that conference in the Pac-12, very, very, very competitive. They didn't win the national championship, but there's a lot of guys that were going to Oregon because of Chip Kelly. I think he could do wonders down in Florida and surrounding parts of getting players to come to Florida. His mind, as far as drawing up plays, the other thing is it's better suited for college. I don't think in the NFL it worked. Well, it didn't, because he went to Philadelphia, got rid of some players, and everybody scratched their head because he had this system, and it was just like, trust me, the system is better than the players. And it's just like, nah, not in the NFL. It's not, bruh. The players is what makes everything. And then plus you're dealing with grown men, so you can't be just treating them like you would students or kids, if you will, But his game, his style, those plays that he designs, that is very, very, very suited for college football and for a team like Florida. He can get the athletes. He can get a quarterback. I think, to me, that's one of the things that I didn't get, that Florida ain't never just really had like this amazing quarterback. They haven't had, like a Peyton Manning or a Carson Palmer or even a Matthew Stafford or anything like that come through that program, in my opinion. But they've had some pretty decent quarterbacks that come through. I think he could get a quarterback there that would change everything, for Florida. So Chip Kelly, I think Chip Kelly would be, and then here's the thing also, Chip Kelly, we all know he likes to be in charge. There's nothing around in Gainesville to interfere or anything like that, and you win, and boosters will be in, and he will be the guy, so if Chip Kelly is watching that whole situation, I would definitely get a hold of your agent, have your agent reach out if they haven't reached out to him yet. But that would be a nice fit. I like what Tyler Butler was saying, on there. And side note, listen to the Enough with the BS podcast with my man Tyler Butler. Having said that, so hey, you're gonna have to change something, because the SEC, it's always tough. It's always hard. But there's a lot of SEC teams that are getting better, and Florida has to be one and needs to continue to be one. You do not want to fall by the wayside and then get replaced by one of these other SEC schools, because that's not a good look for a college of Florida's magnitude. They are a powerhouse university. They need to act like it, and they need to get back in the mix. If they don't, people will forget about them. Remember, Alabama at one point fell off, and they were a second thought. Nobody, second class citizen. And then Nick Saban showed up, and then everything changed. Chip Kelly could have that effect. I'm not saying he's Nick Saban. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and just win all these championships, but he could change the atmosphere at the University of Florida. So that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. So again, you listen to the Wait a Minute Show with your man Jelani JB Bodie. And you know what? I'm so sorry. That's why he's mean mugging me right now. Lopan is in the building. I didn't even say Lopan was here. Lopan, please tell the people what's up. Indeed. So Lopan is here. I'm sorry, Lopan. I got all in the mix because I was talking about the MLB and everything, and the game just getting crazy right now, and I kind of forgot about you, Lopan. So I'm sorry. I apologize about that. It won't happen again. So But you're listening to the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani J.B. Boda, and my co-host, Lopan. And we are talking about this MLB, NBA, and NFL news that's going on. It is on fire right now. Quick update, the Houston Astros, for those people that's just joining in live to the show, it is 5-0 Houston. So they are putting the smash down right now on the Dodgers. So we'll see how everything plays out as the night goes on. But we're going to move into a little bit of NBA news, and I'm so happy. I told y'all I was happy that the NBA was here. And people said, oh my gosh, we're just going to wait and Cleveland is just going to be Golden State again. And that could very well happen. But I did tell folks there are going to be more storylines going on this season. There's going to be a lot more entertaining news. There are going to be a lot more things that you need to keep an eye on. And it has not disappointed. And just like I said, the NBA, reinvent yourself. They changed up the schedule. They changed up, the back-to-backs. They changed up got rid of the 4 games in 5 days, and all this to basically make their players fresher, make their players, play more games. Now, we're not even past 10 games yet, but we got a lot of, NBA, news that's going on. So you got, one of the first things is that we had the whole Gordon Hayward, injury. That was horrible, but I have to give credit where credit is due at this point right now. And the LA Clippers are 4-2, and they are playing some good basketball. They made Blake the guy, and Blake has been balling. I mean, balling. Pickups like Patrick Beverly, was a good pickup. They did lose J.J. Redick, but in a trade that, they traded Chris Paul. They got guys back like Sam Decker and, and everything. But Gallinari, they got Gallinari out there, and they are, right now, they're playing some good ball. So I'm not jumping on the Clipper bandwagon, though. I'm not jumping on it at all right now because I've done that before. I opened my mouth and then I made myself look, ridiculous. And I'm not doing that. But I got to give them credit where credit is due right now. So they are playing good basketball. So the Clippers are a good story. We've been talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He has thrown his name in the hat to be an early consideration for MVP. Every time you see him, he is doing something on either the defensive end or the offensive side of the ball. You will be talking about him for the rest of the year. OKC with Russell Westbrook and the other two of the big three, Carmelo and Paul George, Lonzo Ball. It seems like it, with that stuff with his father's kind of calmed down. So, we can get to actually just talking about basketball when it comes to the Lakers. And it's still early, but my Detroit Pistons are 5-3 right now. So very, very, early into the season. I know things could change. Swings happen and all this stuff, but it's not going to be this domination that I was telling everybody. Golden State is not just going to shoot through, the Western Conference, beat up on folks, like they did year ago and 2 years ago. I just don't see that happening. And right now, Golden State is in the mix. They're 5-3 as well, but you got other teams that's right there with them, like the Rockets, the Grizzlies. I wouldn't even had the Grizzlies, in the mix with them. San Antonio right now, and I hate to say this because people say if the playoffs started right now, but San Antonio is number 9, in the Western Conference. So it's going to be tighter than what you think, folks. It's going to be tighter than what you think. And I can't say because they're not but the Minnesota Timberwolves are 4-3. They need to get a little bit better because, look, I put them down for 50 wins. Book it. So I need them to get on a little bit run, but I think it's going to take them a little time, to mesh and gel. And then when we get kind of around the, all-star break, I think that's where it's going to come together. And then they're going to start playing really good basketball, and then they're going to make everyone scared or terrified that they don't want to see the Minnesota Timberwolves. So a lot of storylines, out there. And the probably one of the biggest storylines is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we were talking about, how, the San Antonio Spurs right now, are ninth in the Western Conference. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't that much better. They're 10th currently right now, and they got a losing record. And this is a team that is supposed to be built to go, to the championship, to compete with Boston or defend their Eastern Conference championship against Boston, which, Boston's situation is a little bit different now, but they're having issues. So now that I think this is really too early, but maybe this is just me, but they've held a team meeting to discuss what's going on currently. And I'm like, you're 7 games in of an 82 game series. 82 game season. I don't know if it's time yet to have a meeting of the minds. Like they said everyone, had a opportunity to speak, get whatever it is that they had on their chest, off their chest, try and figure out how to get this thing rolling, put this thing together, and start playing good basketball. Because, they were talking about chemistry, having chemistry. Well, to me, I think that was going to take time anyway. The season got bumped up. So right now really would have been the opening today or yesterday really would have been the opening of the NBA season, so we're already pretty much 2 weeks in, to almost, somewhere around there. We're almost 2 weeks in, to the NBA season. You got basically 5 new guys. And one of them not even playing. Isaiah's on that team now. He's not playing. I think you guys would be, in a different situation if he was on the roster playing right now. But he's dealing with a hip injury. You got Derrick Rose. He went down with an ankle injury. I told you this team is a team of question marks, and we're going to get the answer soon. But you got to get through the question marks. You picked up in the trade with Isaiah. You got Jay Crowder. That's another guy that's trying to find his way, on this role. Kevin Love, even though he was on this team already, you've moved him to a new position. You got to figure that out. You got Jeff Green. That's another guy, guys that's not on the team anymore, like Richard Jefferson. Although, Richard Jefferson was not, a main cog, if you will. But he came in with the second unit and gave you quality basketball. It may not be offensively all the time. Could be on the defensive side of the ball. It could be on hustle plays, 50-50 balls, and all that stuff. So you're going through a transition. And not to mention, probably the biggest acquisition you got was Dwayne Wade. Now he's coming off the bench. So to me, I didn't think it was time to have a meeting yet, unless they were at each other's throats or there was finger pointing or anything like that early. Then I get it. It's just like we need to address this early and get, take care of it. But it's 7 games. You're 3-4. You've had these situations before, not this early. But you had where you have these weeks or these, little dry spells where things don't go right, but you figure it out. And I just think that the Cleveland Cavaliers will figure it out and get back to winning ball games. But talk is that, the defensive side, they are not playing good defensive basketball. Some of this is blamed on conditioning. We heard LeBron talk about his conditioning in the first game of the year when they played Boston. I really thought, I was just like, okay, he's just talking, but maybe that is what it is. So, but calling to me, I don't think it was time for that. You know,